The
So
one other thing I wanted to talk about quickly here was the Thunderbirds a little bit. Jay, I know that you've been involved with the Thunderbirds and done a lot with them. What's your take on the Thunderbirds this year? On the changes to the roster, those types of things. Just to give you, so I was looking at the rosters and the Thunderbirds. Along with a whole new coaching staff, the Thunderbirds only have seven returning players. Seven returning players. So it's a whole new team. It's a whole different roster. It's a whole different dynamic from what it was when Parko was there. So what are your views on that? Or Panko, sorry, was there. What are your thoughts?
I use thing I do like this year, and again, a lot of younger kids, first year kids, a lot of locals. So it's really nice to see two returning from the states who didn't even get to go home for Christmas. So it's something when it comes to the local kids. Again, they're not all seeing the ice time, but when it comes to returnees, also, I think the COVID has also killed that a little bit too. When it comes to because again, they can have 6 Americans and they only have 2.
Yeah.
So kids coming over for again, the deadline's been pushed off till February, but you got to come in. You got to quarantine for 14 days.
Yeah.
And then a parent is saying, and again, I don't know what they're charging or whatever else, but going to pay for my kid to go up and play 6 games in 14 days, where usually they play 8 to 10 games. So I think a lot of times when it comes to returnees this year, it's not the organization, it's more of what's happening. Incredible coaching staff. I use my kids are 22 and 26, and they said, thank God they weren't there when my friends were there, because you're dealing with police officers and firemen. How much more disciplined people do you want when it comes to coaching staff?
Yeah, so and that was where I wanted to go. So for those that aren't too familiar, Denny Lambert,
except Chris Carr, we'll eliminate him.
Right. I'm crossing him out. Denny Lambert, Gary is the head coach, and then he put together a staff of Gary Roach, Mickey Sartorello, Jeremy Stevenson, Aiden Wright, and Dale Bono as the equipment manager. So you look at that staff, you have an NHL player on that staff. You have an OHL player on that staff.
Well, you have 2 NHL players.
2 ex-NHL players and 2 ex-OHL players, one who won a Memorial Cup, right? So
NCAA.
Yeah, absolutely. NCAA. So absolutely an amazing coaching staff, and good for them. I mean, I'm impressed to see what the Thunderbirds did. I think that the culture needed to change or get a reboot there, and I do think that bringing in a guy like Denny Lambert is a great move. Mickey Sartorello, we talked a little bit about him. Played for Saginaw. Quick little story about him. I don't even know if he'll remember this, but
was he in the penalty box at all with you?
Oh yeah. So he played for Saginaw, and one of his first games here in the Soo, he got a penalty, and he was sitting next to me, and he was really focused on the game, so I didn't want to bother him too much. You kind of get that. So I just looked over and I said, I think I said something along the lines of, hey, welcome home, or, congratulations, or something along those lines. And he just kind of said, thanks. And then he kind of went back into the game, and he was focused on the game, and he was watching, and he was just sitting in the box. And all of a sudden he mumbled under his breath. He goes, "This is so cool." So just getting a chance to see that and see him playing for against the Soo Greyhounds and being there, I'll always remember that about Mickey. And great guy. Was really impressed by him, and I think he got a little bit of a raw deal in Saginaw, but it was amazing. Oh, man, watching him play for that Thunderbirds team when they won the Dudley Cup, the Dudley Hewitt, was some of the best hockey I'd ever seen. And he was a man amongst boys. He completely dominated that league. And I don't know if players on that Thunderbirds team now will know or appreciate how good he was, but holy cow, no one could touch the guy.
And that's where, to bring up a little bit differently, he, as a teenager, he might take it the wrong way, but 16-year-old Connor Toms, he's a boy among men when it comes to 16-year-old, but he's playing like he's a 20-year-old. Like I was talking to his dad, Jeff, who played pro hockey, and I said, how's Connor liking it? He goes, he's loving it. Thing is, probably, and I'm not saying for sure, if there's an OHL season, Thunderbirds might not have him.
Yeah.
but he's
Yeah,
doing one hell of a job with the Thunderbirds. And Jeff, I've talked to Jeff. Jeff says he's just loving it.
and that's awesome. I mean, Connor Toms is leading the Thunderbirds in scoring this year with I believe he's got 8 points in 8 games. So he's leading that team in scoring as a 16-year-old, right? Like that just doesn't happen, and a 16-year-old defenseman on top of that, right? But the Thunderbirds are doing well this year for the turnover they had for the first year. I believe they're in third place right now, and they're right in the mix, and that's just a credit to that coaching staff. You can't say enough good things about them.
And that's what when I did an interview with Denny after one of the games, and I asked him about Connor and he goes, he sees the ice totally different than most players,
Yeah,
and he goes, he sees it totally different than I did, and I said to him, I'm like, Denny, I know he sees it totally different than you because you can't from the penalty box.
yeah,
And that's the way Denny played, right?
yeah,
So,
yeah,
but Denny's very impressed. The coaching staff's very impressed, not just with him, impressed with a lot of the young rookies and the veterans. They got 2 new goaltenders this year. Like I said, two out of town goaltenders. So
yeah.
right from the back end, right straight through, there's a lot of new faces.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I know it's exciting this year. I'm really. I think the Thunderbirds hit a home run when they hired this coaching staff, and I do. I put a lot of weight on that coaching staff and their dedication and how they're going to do this year. So, like I said, it might be a process this year. We'll see how it goes, but I think the future is ridiculously bright for the Thunderbirds, and I can't wait to get across and have a beer at the Puller and watch those two teams go at it as usual.
and it's funny, and this is again, I know it's junior hockey, but people who I know and who know me, we joke around as when it comes to Blind River and the Sioux, and people always joke when you see, again, I see the behind the scenes, and you have Brick and Dylan King yelling at Porco and DeSano's brothers on the roster, and that everybody says, well, if King ever lost it, he would rip anybody apart. I actually said to Danny Lambert off the record, I'm like, now we got heavyweights. Not that it would ever happen, but we got we got heavyweights behind both benches now. When it comes to coaches, we may not see as much yelling.
Yeah, be a little calmer, you'd think.
Yeah, I like Dylan, but just to give him a shot, as if it ever came to boxing gloves or whatever else with coaches, Dylan was the heavyweight until we got the roster, the coaching staff this year, the Soo Thunderbirds.
That's funny. One of my actually, when I saw that, I didn't even realize that Jeremy Stevenson was coaching the Thunderbirds this year or helping out with them. And every time I see his name, I always think about this. This is hilarious. Back when Tyler Kennedy was playing for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and this is when they won the Stanley Cup. So they made the Stanley Cup finals the one year, and they would do player profiles on the screen, right? And it would show the player, and then it would show, they'd ask them a bunch of questions, and then it'd say their favorite NHL player growing up, right? So you would see, people were, Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux, all this kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden, Tyler Kennedy's name comes up, and his favorite NHL player growing up was Jeremy Stevenson.
and they're probably fishing buddies.
Yeah, exactly. So it was good. I like that. So,
I'm sure now Jeremy probably paid him to do it though. So.
Yeah. Hey, it's a great way to get your name out there.
But that's going back again. It's something where we're going to do eventually down the line. Where are they now? But coming back to not the COVID, but the amount of players, not just in hockey, but the amount of players, football, CFL, the players that have moved on from the city to sports is something we can talk about down the line. And there's a lot there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I think we have a good platform here, and I do think that we can touch upon, keep touching upon some subjects that really affect Sault Ste. Marie and affect the sports here. And yeah, I'm excited to bring in some guests every week and talk to some people. And I do think that this platform will be really positive for everyone. And I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be fun.
And last thing, and again, there's something to touch base is it's more recreational. But in Sault Ste. Marie, your thoughts on the mill, the new arena that we have down there?
Oh, I can't wait to get there. I really enjoy the Oval. I really enjoy getting out. my attitude, I don't know if anyone's ever been to the a little plug here for out at Silver Creek, but the skating rink at Silver Creek, they have an indoor, in the summer they have the dining area there, and in the winter they put a rink in there. I've always argued that's the best rink in Sault Ste. Marie. It's a small one, and it's just great. This Mill Market, though, it almost takes it to another level. I'm really excited to see it. I think that down the road, it'd be really neat to see some games there. I think it'd be cool to see some, can you imagine like the Thunderbirds or something having a game out there? I think that would be unbelievable. So I'm excited to see what happens there. I want to get out there. Obviously, with this weather we're having right now, we won't be skating anytime soon because it's going to kill the outdoor rinks, which is frustrating because it's nice to see the outdoor rinks packed right now. But yeah, I think it's a beautiful rink, and I can't wait to check it out.
And that's something that I mentioned it to Jerry Linscomb with the Greyhounds and Trevor Zachary with the Thunderbirds. Unfortunately, even unofficially, they're not supposed to do it like head to head because of reasons. But even if the Greyhounds went down for a couple hours and did like a little 3-on-3 mini tournament amongst their own selves, and the Thunderbirds the same, that'd be cool. And let fans come down and just watch it. And I think something with the Porco family, again, going back to John's family, it's within the family who's done it. I think it's an amazing city. The other one, my kids are in their 20s now, but I can't remember if it was my younger one or my older one. We went down, I think it was Grand Rapids. And Grand Rapids runs a hockey tournament. Every team has to play one game on their outdoor rink just like that.
Yeah.
And the kids thought it was great.
Yeah, and Windsor has one too. Windsor has a beautiful outdoor rink that has a cover on it with the dressing room. So yeah, I'm excited. I think it's a great thing, and it's it's awesome for the city. It really is. That's going to be a great place for people to go, and I do think it's a good thing. I'm excited to check it out. Even
to take your team, midget team down there, like just for practice, right? It'd be something. How many kids get to play outdoors?
Yeah. Yeah,
so
I know that there are. It's not an open rink. I know that they do bill out hourly and those types of things. So that's nice. But I just think I like what they're doing at Mill Market. I really do. I like that they're building that area up. I like that they're trying to turn it into a destination and a tourist attraction. So props to everyone involved there, and can't wait to see it.
After a game, you just hop on the snow train, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Tony, I can't thank you enough for taking this week. Again, we'll be back next week. Already talked to Neil Ovey and 18 Jacquet when it comes to basketball and soccer recruiting at the OUA level, and I'm going to reach out to a few others. Going to see if Jamie Henderson's available about recruiting, about the U18 hockey, and talk a little bit more about recruiting in these times because. We all thought back in April 2020 that by October this wasn't going to be around. And now it's January 2021. I still think we're going to be here come April.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I think so too. I'm a frontline worker, and we haven't heard a thing yet about vaccinations or anything. So we'll have to wait and see where we're at. But
if it was up to Boomer Brado, he would just have the vaccinations at his bar so we could go in and have a beer at the same time. And I think that'd be perfect, right?
I like it. Maybe in a couple of weeks, if Chris apologizes, we can even bring him on here for a quick little segment. So
he told me that they have a really good coaching staff. And by the way, he still doesn't paint. So
too good.
Yeah. So
all right.
Tony, well, thanks a lot. And I'm really excited about the sports talk every Monday night at 7:00 on SooSports.com. And just a little plug: if anybody is interested in coming aboard as a sponsor or partner, reach out to me or Tony on social media or by email, and we'll talk soon, Tony.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.